Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome back to Jash Reads. Tonight, we're continuing with Animorphs number 2, The Visitor by K.A. Applegate. We all walked most of the way home together, feeling worn out. The flying was a little tiring, and morphing always takes a lot out of you. Tobias flew high overhead. He didn't really participate in the conversation. It's hard for him. See, he can speak to us, and we can understand him. But when we're in human shape, we can only talk in the normal way. He can't hear us unless he's close by, and he can't be close and still fly. This morphing thing would be so excellent if it weren't for the whole thing with the Yeerks, Marco was saying. I mean, if it were just normal, we could really use these powers. To do what? Fight crime? Jake asked. Marco looked at him with a mixture of pity and amusement. Fight crime? Who are you? Spider-Man? I'm talking show business, movies, TV shows. I could go on Letterman. I could be an entire episode of Stupid Pet Tricks all by myself. You're right, I said, batting my eyes so he would know I was kidding. You already have the stupid part down. We'd be hot in horror movies, Cassie said. Or how about as stuntmen? Jake suggested. One of us could jump off the tallest building and it would be totally realistic. Then we just morph into a bird on the way down and fly away. Now I'm really mad at the Yeerks, Marco said. They're getting in the way of my showbiz career. I could be a millionaire. I could be trading funny lines with Dave. I could have beautiful Hollywood supermodels all over me. Uh-huh, I said with a wink at Cassie. Lots of women love animals, but sooner or later, you'd have to change back into your actual self, Marco, and then boom, they'd be out of there. We walked along the boulevard that goes by the construction site. It's this huge area of half-finished buildings with rusted earth movers and cranes and buckhoes scattered around. I guess it was originally going to be a shopping center, but for some reason, they never finished it. We didn't take the shortcut through the construction site like we would have in the old days, though. See, it was at this construction site that we saw the Andalite Prince's damaged fighter land. It was here that the Andalite warned us of the Yeerk conspiracy and gave us our special powers. It was also here that we saw the Yeerk commander, Vischer 3, murder the Andalite Prince. Vischer 3 is the only one of the Yeerks who has our same power to morph. Vischer 3 is an Andalite controller, meaning he has an Andalite body. A human controller is a Yeerk with a human body. A taxon controller is a Yeerk with a taxon body. You get the idea. Vischer 3 is the only Yeerk to ever capture an Andalite body, so he's also the only Yeerk who can morph. That night at the construction site, he morphed into some creature from a far-off planet, a huge, horrible monster, and then he took the Andalite and you know what? I really don't want to talk about that. You'll have to ask Jake. We all fell silent as we passed by the site. Then I noticed that Cassie had stopped walking and was just standing there. I went back to her and realized that she was crying. "Are you okay?" I asked. She shook her head. "No. Are you?" I sighed. Flying around the sky had been a wonderful distraction, but my head was still full of awful memories. "I guess not," I admitted. "Last night I had a terrible nightmare about the Yeerk pool. I was back down there in that vast open cave, and I was hearing the screams and cries of the people being dragged to the pool." Cassie nodded. "You know what's worse than the screams? The way they stop screaming once the Yeerk is in their heads. Once they become controllers, then you know they are slaves again, lost. Like Tom." We both turned. It was Jake. He and Marco had seen us stop and had come back. Tom is Jake's brother. Tom is a human controller, a human being enslaved by Yeerk in his head. We'd found the Yeerk pool and gone down into that hell to get Tom. We'd failed. We'd barely escaped with our lives. Cassie put her arm around Jake's waist. "Someday we'll save Tom," she said. Jake kind of stroked Cassie's head. I guess he got embarrassed because he instantly pulled away. Cassie didn't mind. She knows how guys are about showing their true feelings. I looked across the construction site and saw Tobias come fluttering down out of the sky. I couldn't see where he landed because that part of the site is hidden from the road, but I knew right where he was, on the spot where the Andalite had died. Somehow, in those brief moments when the Andalite had been with us, Tobias had formed some kind of special bond with him. We started walking again. "We need to find another way to get at them," I said angrily. It bothered me, imagining Tobias back in a maze of never-finished buildings mourning for the Andalite. "Get at who?" Marco asked suspiciously. "The French, Marco," I said sarcastically. "Who do you think? The Yeerks, duh." "Whoa, whoa, whoa," Marco said. "We tried that, remember? We went down into the Yeerk pool after them and got our butts kicked. Yeerks 10, humans 0. So you figure you should just give up?" I demanded. "We lost one game," Jake said. "You don't quit the sport just because you lose one game." "Some game," Marco said bitterly. "Some sport." "We didn't lose anyway," I said. The others looked at me like I was crazy. "Look," I explained. "I know we didn't save Tom, and we sure didn't stop the Yeerks, but we gave them a reason to be afraid at least." "Yeah, they're terrified of us. Fisher 3 probably can't sleep at night. He's so worried about 5 kids." Marco said sarcastically. "Look, Fisher 3 doesn't think we're a threat. He thinks we're lunch. He doesn't know who or what we are," I pointed out. "The Yeerks are convinced that we're Andalite warriors because they know that we can morph. and they know that we found the Yeerk pool and infiltrated and took out a few of their toxins and Hork-Bajir while we were at it. I think they're probably a little nervous, at least. Jake nodded. Rachel's right. But just the same, I don't think we want to try to go back to the Yeerk pool. Besides, the door is gone. We all stopped and stared at him. He shrugged. Look, I just wanted to see if the door still worked, okay? Just in case. But it's not there anymore. The door leading down to the Yeerk pool had been hidden in the janitor's closet of our school. There were dozens of doors to the underground Yeerk pool, spread all over the city, but this was the only one we knew about. So we find another way to get at them, I said. We can follow Tom again when it's time for his Yeerk to return to the Yeerk pool. Yeerks have to go to the pool every 3 days. They drain out their hosts' heads and soak up Kandrona rays. No, we leave Tom out of it, Jake said firmly. If we call attention to him in any way, the Yeerks may decide he's trouble for them. They may decide to kill him. Marco gave me a sour look. This is what you want to keep doing? Risking our lives and the lives of everyone we know? For what? For freedom, Cassie said simply. Marco didn't have a smart answer to that. There's still Chapman, Jake said. Chapman is our assistant principal. He's also one of the most important human controllers. He runs the Sharing, the club that helps recruit unsuspecting kids into being hosts for the Yeerks. If there were some way for us to get close to Chapman... Jake let the words hang in the air. He carefully didn't look at me, but I knew what he meant. He'd obviously been thinking about this for a while. Melissa? I asked. He nodded. It's a possibility. See, Melissa Chapman, Assistant Principal Chapman's daughter, is one of my closest friends. Or at least she used to be. The last few months, she'd been acting very strange toward me. Like she didn't care anymore. We take gymnastics together. Actually, we got into it at the same time. You know, something to do together. I don't like using a friend that way, I said. Oh, suddenly the mighty Rachel is weaseling, Marco crowed. You don't like using your friends? You're pretty willing to risk my life. Sure, Marco, but who said you were my friend? Very funny, Marco said, but at the same time he looked a little hurt. Kidding, Marco, I said. Just kidding. Of course you're my friend, but you're an Animorph. Melissa is just an innocent bystander. I wish I had never come up with that word, Marco said. Animorph. Give me a break. Rachel, Melissa's father is one of the main controllers, Jake said gently, ignoring Marco. She's in this whether she likes it or not. I felt a bitter taste in my mouth. Jake was right, of course. Chapman was the logical lead to follow, and Melissa was our way to get close. It made sense. It made sense for me to betray an old friend. It also made me feel like dirt. And that's the end of chapter 3. God, this little head right here is a little heavy. I don't know if I really noticed it before. I can't remember. But I think it's the weight of this added to my little, headset that's like, oh no, I'm being crushed. I didn't thoroughly think this through. No. One of the key differences between the first book and the second book that you can tell in this chapter, and that sort of weirded me out first time reading it, is that in the first book, when you use thought speech, you could be, not morphed and use it with someone who was morphed. And so when I was reading this chapter, it's like, wait, why can't Rachel just thought speak to him? Why can't they just do that? Because that was the thought speak logic in the first book. And here in the sequel, it's only Andalites and people in Morph can use thought speak. So it was like really fucking jarring. Like it was really jarring the first time. And also, to remind you that that this was made in the 90s, the reference to David Letterman. Like when I was practicing and rehearsing, that was just like, I was like, I don't know if I can actually keep a straight face, just talking about David Letterman, because I'm like, I'm all this fucking shit. Oh, God. Oh. So it was a sticky note that wasn't sticking, I just noticed that. So, yeah. So please comment down below if you read this series chronologically, at least the main series from number 1 to number 2. Please comment below if you were also weirded out by the change of how thought speak works in this chapter. Because that really weirded me out the first time, as I said. And if you're going to comment below, just be aware again that no major spoilers. Minor spoilers are okay. It's like one character likes cinnamon buns. Don't mention who the character is, and you'll know why if you get that reference. But but a major spoiler would be, oh, there's, this character doesn't make it towards the end, or this character has a horrible death. It's like, so, because I would like people who are watching this that might be discovering Animorphs through this, not to be spoiled. Anywhere else I post about Animorphs, I don't care about spoilers, but here is different. Please remember, like this video, subscribe to this channel. And if this video has made you interested to read Animorphs number 2 for yourself, there's a link to buy it in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on my blog, there's a link at the bottom of the post to buy it. And if you do, and you can buy it used or new through the link at the bottom. And now this will only, what I'm going to say now is only going to concern the YouTube viewers, because when I post onto my blog, I will be posting these parts, these videos, way after I actually post these on YouTube. So, but for those following up to date on the YouTube channel, I'm going to have a little semi-hiatus for 1 or 2 weeks. The thing is, long story short, my dad's going to be out of town for a little bit, and my fiance is going to be coming over, And so I'm just thinking I'm probably not really going to do any recording while he's over. And then another week, the time I used to film these, I will be filming my Patreon exclusive vlogs. So it'll be a little break, but just don't worry, I will be right back. And I should have some blooper reels, new blooper reel out. And I'm just glad that this was a take where I did not make any big bloopers. And now is the take a shot. Used to be take a shot, but since I don't have a shot glass anymore, and I don't know, I'm still sort of mourning my old one that I never want to get a new one again, is that I sort of sip a little bit of this lovely sake. And you can join in too if you have a favorite alcohol or liquor. Go and get it. If you don't drink for whatever reason, drink something healthy like Gatorade here. And there's tea, water, milk, whatever. So let's see what to toast today. Take where I did not do any, no bloopers for tonight, and I know I probably hit this once or twice by accident. I did that some other times too, so I don't really count that. And, well, I'm still happy that Jorah's grayscale seems to be cured. So, here's hoping that, he survives till the end of the season. And I know this is a long shot. No, this is never going to happen because this ship is not going to goddamn sail. So I've been waiting and waiting. Probably not. Is that he will finally get at least one sexy time with Daenerys. I mean, like just one sexy time. Like and if you're wondering, no, it's nothing about she owes him. I just think they have a great relationship that could go on to something more. I just it could be like her mistress while she marries Jon Snow to, alliance, whatever, if they do that. But, so, yay Jorah, and yay, perfect-ish take. That's a fucking lie. Cheers. Yeah. Okay, so I like to make sure this is closed nice and tight. And until next video, goodbye.